This is the richest man who ever lived. From Thoughty2.
According to Forbes, last time they published their rich list, Amazon owner Jeff Bezos was the richest man in the world. Jeff Bezos' personal fortune is larger than the GDP of 75% of countries around the world.
How much is Jeff Bezos worth? Is he still worth 177 billion?
This is a level
This was
of
2 years ago?
nobody
Oh,
could
yeah.
conceivably spend
I
in a
think
lifetime.
Elon Musk is now the richest man, right? Elon Musk or the guy who owns LMVH or whatever, or LVMH. So in just 2 years, the richest man has gone from 177 billion to 249 billion USD net worth. That's kind of insane.
How expensive their tastes. Seriously, Jeff is 57 years of age at the time of recording this video. Now, he's probably going to have his head cryogenically frozen and live forever.
We can only hope.
Let's assume he's going to live to 80. In order to use up all of his $177 billion before he died, discounting interest, he would need to spend almost $22 million every single day for the rest of his life.
Could you do it if you were tasked with spending $22 million every day? Could you do it? No repeat purchases either. I don't think it's possible. I don't think you could do it. I think you would run out of things to buy before you spent all this money. Could build a rocket.
His entire career.
Yeah, but you could only use one of each part though. Do you think you could build a rocket using only one ofs?
Yeah, every single day for about 8,400 days in a row. Yeah. But here's something really interesting.
That's nice, Thoughty.
Whilst Jeff Bezos
Just like me.
may well be the richest man in modern times, he isn't the richest human being ever to have lived. In fact, remarkably enough,
You could build 2 rockets? You can't build 2 rockets! Because you would use up all the parts you need to build a rocket on the first rocket. You can't buy anything twice.
Just for inflation.
Gamble all in.
isn't even
True.
Close.
3 rockets, yeah,
Who
3
holds
rockets.
That title is estimated to have been in possession of a fortune well over twice the size of poor old Jeff's, and larger than the fortune of Elon Musk,
Twice the size?
Mark Zuckerberg, Warren Buffett, and Jack Ma combined.
Wait, if it's twice the size of Jeff Bezos' 177 billion, so that's what, 344 billion? 354? Am I stupid? 354? Is that close to what Elon Musk? Elon Musk has 269. So he's coming up. He just needs another 100 billion and he will be the richest human to have ever walked the face of the earth.
The funny thing is, despite his vaunted
That's insane.
financial position in the annals of human history, there's a very good chance you've never even heard of this guy. That being...
Guesses on who it is? I think his name is Mansa Musa or something like that. I'm not 100% sure though.
Let me introduce you.
Schmeiko7, yeah.
Is Mansa Musa.
Oh my God. Is it pre-watched or is he a genius?
The richest man in history.
Yeah, Mansa Musa was also from The Lion King. That's where he grew his wealth, from starring in The Lion King.
He was the Sultan of the Mali Empire. Most of my viewers live in Europe and the US. 2 parts of the world where school systems have not traditionally put a lot of emphasis on African history.
The Mali Empire is big.
The Mali Empire, the
big
largest
gold.
ever seen in Western Africa, was really quite something. At its height in the 14th century,
I think most of the gold in the world comes from this region, if I'm not mistaken. There are definitely diamonds up in these hills too. There's definitely diamonds.
almost 500,000
Hiker!
square miles and was home to around 5% of the world's population. It rose incredibly quickly in the space of just a couple of generations during what's known as the Golden Age of Trade in Africa. The rise of the Mali Empire was built on its unfathomable wealth, and that came primarily from 2 things: gold and salt. Both of which were in rich
not
local
diamonds.
supply.
I may be a bit of a history expert. I don't know.
Approximately half of all gold in the old world, that's Europe, Africa, and Asia, came from just 3 gold mines in Mali.
Dang!
The idea that a vast fortune could come from gold is no surprise.
I have considered
but the
becoming a
fact
YouTube
salt
historian.
was such a major factor might seem a little odd when viewed through our modern lens. But in many parts of 14th century Africa,
You gotta preserve your food, and food was terrible back in the day. Can you imagine how bad food was in the old world before we figured out how to inject as many calories as possible into every piece of food that you put in your mouth? Before General Mills, before McDonald's, before IHOP, for God's sake? It must have been a nightmare to eat in these times.
salt was an incredibly
Before air
valuable
fryers?
commodity.
Yeah.
To the right buyer, it was literally worth its weight in gold. As unlike
People would not brush their teeth using piss in the old world. Cite your sources. There's no way. There's no way. Hold on. Ancient Romans used to use both human and animal urine as mouthwash in order to whiten their teeth. Yeah, so the taste of piss was palatable for them. I gotta stop letting my cats use the litter box. This is your new litter box right here. I washed my mouth with cat piss for 6 months. Here's what happened.
especially useful before the invention of reliable refrigeration. So in regions where salt was sparse, it was priceless. Gold, on the other hand, is shiny. We use it in all
True.
sorts of things today, from electronics to spaceships. It looked kinda pretty, was about the extent of its appeal in the 14th century. Mansa Musa was born sometime around 1280 AD, and he came to the throne as the 10th ruler of the Mali Empire.
This is Mansa
in
Musa?
approximately 1312
Thought he'd
AD.
be taller.
His rise to power was a slightly odd one. He was only ever supposed to be a temporary ruler, selected for his caretaker position.
What
when
is
his
this animation?
predecessor, Abu Bakari Keita II, decided to go and find
Thanks,
out what
Mike.
was on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean, as you do. The emperor took some 3,000 ships and set off into the vast expanse of the ocean, leaving behind his throne and one of the greatest fortunes in history, all without a shred of evidence that there was actually anything to discover on the other side. This one-time ruler of the Mali Empire never came back from his bold voyage, and so Mansa Musa officially ascended to the throne, where he set about extending the borders of his lands and growing his already vast wealth. The
Mansa
head of one of
Musa
Africa's
invented
greatest
Tesla.
empires.
Invested in Tesla?
Just
No, he
how
invented the
rich
Tesla.
was Mansa Musa?
Mansa Musa was the original founder of Tesla before Elon bought in. That's the history that Elon doesn't want you to know.
How about an example? The new emperor was a devout Muslim, meaning, much like today, it was his solemn duty to undertake the Hajj at least once in his lifetime. The Hajj
was only
being a pilgrimage to Mecca and one of the
emperor
5
for 25
pillars of
years?
Islam. It's no exaggeration to say that when Mansa Musa decided it was time to go to Mecca, the pilgrimage that ensued from Mali to the Arabian Peninsula is one of the most remarkable journeys ever made.
Yeah,
by
a bit of a
human
Hajj
being.
moment.
Well, I say a human being. What I actually mean is 60,000 men and women, 100 elephants, 80 camels, a personal guard of 500 highly trained warriors, and enough food, water,
Bro.
and animals to eat for everyone.
He was rolling deep. You think he gets in the club? How many girls does he have to bring all his elephants in the club?
Basically, Mansa Musa undertook this 2,700-mile pilgrimage at the center of an entire movable city.
Hold on. Is this this river of animals and human beings and just piles of gold that he carried with him?
And that stretched longer than the eye could see. I mean, it was bigger and more extravagant even than the entourage Aladdin took with him to impress Princess
What is this? What is this image?
Jasmine. And that was made
Copyright
by a magic
free
genie.
Disney.
Now, if you're anything like me, you'll probably take a bit of spending money with you when you go on a trip. And it seems Mansa Musa did exactly that. Because, tucked away in a bum bag, he'd reserved a little extra cash to treat himself along the way. Of course,
This video's kind of a
little
banger,
extra
not gonna
cash
lie.
has something of a different meaning when you're the richest man ever. In this case, it was 21,000 kilograms of solid gold. You know, just in case there were some bargains to be had in duty free. You might be wondering how exactly he transported such a vast amount of gold.
He had 100 elephants. So I'm not worried about how he transported this with the amount of livestock that he had in his entourage. It simply is. It's very clear how he did it.
That job was left to his 12,000
slaves.
Slaves,
never mind. Why let the animals carry it when you have slaves?
2 kilos in solid gold apiece. Along with the bullions,
2 kilos? That's not bad.
Also brought thousands of kilos of gold dust, which was used as currency throughout his kingdom. Take all this together, the tens of thousands.
Bro, if I was alive back in that time, I'd be cutting that gold dust with anything I could find. I'd be counterfeiting gold dust for sure.
And it's fair to say, the world had never before
richer than
seen
Mansa
anything
Musa.
quite like the display of wealth Mansa Musa put on during his trip to Mecca.
The animals carry the burden of being food. Nobody eats elephants. Let me just double check that actually. Oh, today all species of elephant are hunted specifically for their meat. What? Dude, no!
That's right, Mansa Musa hadn't brought all this gold for himself. He was planning to give it away. Like, all of it. It's said that so much gold was handed out to the poor en route to Mecca.
I kind of want to try it now.
Mansa Musa single-handedly crashed the price of the commodity across most of North Africa and the Western
Oh, he had all the Doge and he was setting the price of it and then he just flooded the market with more Doge. He is like Elon. He's the ancient Elon. Only his Dogecoin is gold.
And Mecca itself, precipitating a decade-long recession. He was basically the Mr. Beast of his day. But his generosity was about
No, terrible comparison. Mine's better. How close do I think Mr. Beast is to becoming the richest man ever? So incredibly far away, it's unbelievable. I think he maybe ambitiously in the most ambitious of projections has a net worth of $1 billion. Let's see what Google says though. Google says 500 million. When is this from? This is from 2023. I mean, that would be a fine estimate. It's hard to say because all his companies are private, right? He has Feastables. He has whatever. Is Mr. Beast Burger still around? He spends so much money on his videos, he'll never get there. No. That's probably the fastest way for him to get there. It's just Tesla is so incredibly overvalued. Tesla's valued like unbelievably high for the amount of cars they sell. They sell like less than half of the cars that Ford sells, and they're worth like 10 to 20x what they're worth. Mr. Beast just needs to build some more hype around the AI innovations going on at Feastables, and then he can really cash out on the IPO.
Some historians suspect
really focus on the investing part heavily. He builds companies
and resources as a kind of medieval PR exercise. A branding mission designed to impress his friends, frighten his enemies, and just generally put the Mali Empire on the map. And it certainly did exactly that, both figuratively and literally. Because, as a direct result of the fame Mansa Musa gained for himself and his empire on his way to Mecca, both would soon begin to crop up on world maps for the first time, including the Catalan Atlas, one of the most
He invests himself a true entrepreneur.
True. Of the 14th century.
So I've been saying.
Mansa Musa himself right here, holding a gold coin and just generally looking like a bit of a boss. The pilgrimage also acted like a sort of epic recruitment campaign, with Mansa Musa's wealth, generosity, and effortless power winning him thousands of supporters and securing his empire the services.
So to answer the question about Mr. Beast, he's 1/250th, or no, 1/500th, according to Forbes, of Elon Musk's wealth. Which, you know,
thinkers and
he's getting there.
Of the era, many of whom he brought back west when the caravan returned home after completing the Hajj. Speaking of returning home, it was around this time Mansa Musa began to sprinkle a little gold dust within the borders of his own lands too, building mosques and madrasas. Those are educational institutions.
Oh, there's a Legal Eagle video on Mr. Beast Burger.
But there was one place in particular for which Mansa Musa reserved most of his attention.
That'll be helpful.
Timbuktu. It's somewhere you've almost certainly heard of. Even if you don't know why and can't point to it on a map.
You don't know what
may
fraction of
even
Elon
think
Musk
it's
you
some
are?
kind
You have
of
student debt? If so, the number doesn't exist. If you're in the negatives, the number doesn't exist.
mythical location like Atlantis or El Dorado. Don't worry, plenty of people do. These days, Timbuktu is used in the English language as a byword for somewhere unimaginably distant and remote. A status it likely earned.
Where the hell is
because no
Timbuktu? This is the place that they're talking about. This is Timbuktu. Nice job, Mansa
in
Musa.
the entire world. The Jingareba Mosque,
Guy thinks
which
he's Elon
Mansa
Musk.
Musa paid for with
I can't.
200 kilograms of solid gold, still stands today and makes up part of Timbuktu University. For a time, one of the world's premier seats of knowledge, boasting 25,000 students and a library of 1 million books. That's more than were held in the Great Library of Alexandria at the height of its fame. And all this at a time when most Europeans believed Africa was a continent full of uncultured savages. Putting an exact number on Mansa Musa's bank account today is
This animation's
obviously
amazing.
pretty difficult. But the figure most
Yeah, I
often
do wanna
cited,
see.
accounting for inflation, is approximately $400 billion.
Honestly, not that far off. Not that far off from what Elon Musk is today.
That's about the GDP of Norway or Ireland.
400
In truth,
billion?
It's nothing more than a finger in the air. Not that it really matters. Mansa Musa was
Honestly,
a man
we
so
just need to
wealthy-
pump Tesla stock more so that we can finally take down Mansa Musa. So that our king Elon can finally take down the last boss,
It had the
Mansa
exact
Musa.
numbers in
Can
order
do
to
it, Daddy
improve the
Musk,
lives
yeah.
of others. And there are certainly worse ways to spend the
Elon
greatest
Musa,
fortune
yeah,
in history.
exactly.
I'm sure you'll agree. Thanks for watching.